If you're somebody who finds it hard to speak up in meetings, who lets other people talk, and who only speaks if you're asked a question, this video is for you. Because the reality is, by you not speaking up during meetings and not sharing your valuable ideas, you are holding back your career progression. Your competence, your intelligence, and your potential, which is what other people need to see in order for you to get promoted, is hidden. It's kept inside your vaulted mind only because you have unjustified fears and insecurities about speaking up. If what I've said so far has resonated with you, then the first thing that you need to do in order to speak up more in meetings is to prime your mind. This essentially means you need to prepare for the meeting, because with preparation comes clarity and confidence, which are the two ingredients you need in order to be mentally able to speak up in a meeting. This requires you to understand the purpose of the meeting. Why is it taking place? Is it to brainstorm a new idea? Is it to make a decision? Is it to listen to updates? Find out the purpose of the meeting, because this will let you know how you can contribute, essentially what you can talk about. Look at the meeting agenda, because the purpose of the meeting will often be included in that. If it's not, then head over to your email invitation. Is there anything in there that talks about the purpose of the meeting? If both of those avenues fail, then you can actually contact the meeting organizer and ask them personally, what is the purpose of this meeting? Once you have the purpose of the meeting, then you should plan out 3 bullet point ideas about what you want to talk about during the meeting. This will help you to walk into the meeting with strategy and with structure, helping you feel more confident about how you can contribute. And I also encourage you to speak as early as you can once you are in the meeting room, or better yet, strike up conversations with your colleagues who are also on the way to the meeting room. Don't wait until everyone is seated at the table. The earlier you involve yourself in conversations, the more present you will feel in the meeting, and the more confident you will feel about speaking up when the meeting starts. The longer you wait to say something, the more your stress builds up, and you start thinking to yourself, what am I going to say in the meeting? I haven't said anything yet. I wonder if other people have noticed I haven't said anything yet. What do they think of me? And you go into this downward spiral, and it makes it harder for you to say anything at all in the meeting. You need to break this cycle, and the best way I found to do this is to speak as early as you can. So greet others when they walk into the room. Hey Jennifer, how was your weekend? Or you can use casual chit chat to just strike up a conversation with a colleague. Hey Matt, I heard you signed client X last week. Good job. It doesn't need to be anything deep. You simply need to break the ice so you realize that it's not so daunting speaking to your colleagues. And if you really want to get your colleagues on your side during the meeting, then a powerful way to do this is to support their ideas when they speak up. When they share their ideas, their opinions or perspectives, whatever it is they say during the meeting, find a way to respond verbally and help them feel validated during the meeting. However you respond, it doesn't have to be complicated. It could be something really simple like this. Matt, I like what you said about XYZ. Or Jennifer raised a really important point about XYZ. You can add on to their idea by saying something like, Matt, I like what you said about XYZ, but I think it's worth noting that. And if you disagree with what they say, well, you can communicate that too. Just make sure you do it in a respectful and a professional manner. Supporting your colleagues' ideas is really about piggybacking on what they've contributed to the meeting and using it as a segue for you to get your talking space, which is often the most difficult and the most challenging part of speaking up during meetings. Another way to get talking space is to ask questions. This could be something that you prepare in advance when you're prepping your mind, like we talked about in point 1. It could be something that you think of on the spot and ask spontaneously during the meeting. Regardless of how the questions come to you, what's sure is that asking questions is a great way to get more involved in a meeting, to be more present and to be more visible as well, without having to say much at all. So if you're more introverted and you don't like speaking publicly, then this is a great strategy for you. How can you ask questions? I'm going to share 3 ways with you right now that you can ask questions in a meeting so you are more present and more visible. When a colleague has contributed an idea, you can ask them to expand or explain more about their idea. For example, Matt, how long do you see Plan B taking? The second way is to ask a question that shifts the direction of the conversation. This is more of an advanced strategy, but it will definitely help you show up as a curious leader who thinks outside the box. Here's an example of how you can do that. From what we've learnt about Plan A and Plan B, how do you think these options help us achieve our corporate goals? The third way is to ask about pros and cons to get people thinking about other perspectives. For example, have you thought about the pros and cons for each plan? If not, maybe we could all brainstorm that together. It's really about keeping a curious mind and being alert to opportunities where you can further the conversation. And toward the end of the meeting or at the end of a section of the meeting, another idea that will help you speak up more during the meeting is to summarize what people have been talking about. This will help you to consolidate all the information that you and other people have been hearing about during the meeting. It will help the person taking the meeting notes because you do their job for them, and it will impress your boss because you will look like a thoughtful and an organized leader. And it doesn't need to be done in a formal way. You can summarize by saying something really casual like this. To clarify what Matt shared about Plan A and Plan B, Plan A will take 3 weeks to complete and it will cost $10,000, whereas Plan B will take 2 weeks to complete and it will cost $8,000. Even though it costs $2,000 more, Matt thinks Plan A is better because the company performing this service is more reputable. Simple summaries like this will give you an opportunity to say something during a meeting if you don't have any ideas of your own, and your team will probably thank you for it too. Speaking up more during meetings doesn't have to be done all on your own either. You can enlist colleagues to help you speak up more. Choose a colleague you have a good relationship with. Tell them that you want to speak up more during meetings and ask if they can help you do this. Say, I want to speak up more in meetings, but I find it really hard to do that when everyone is talking. Could you ask me to say something when we talk about XYZ? Or, one of my goals is to speak up more during meetings, and I know you do this really well. So in tomorrow's meeting, when you feel it's appropriate, could you cue me into the conversation so I can contribute more? And of course, you need to reciprocate this favor with your colleagues so it's not one-sided. And a really important step in speaking up more in meetings is to practice before you get to the meeting. A lot of you watching probably don't do this. You might think it's a silly idea or that it's pointless, but with practice comes confidence and the ability for you to quickly and seamlessly jump into the conversation. So practice how you are going to jump into the conversation, how you are going to share your ideas, how you are going to support somebody else's ideas, and how you are going to ask questions. Basically, plan and prepare the exact words that you are going to use so you can become more fluent in your delivery. Once you find your way into the conversation, then you will need to flesh out your idea or perspective. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. You might try to communicate too much information. You might not have the energy or enthusiasm you need to convey your idea well. And you might forget to tell the group why your idea is a good one. All of these things are important, especially if you want to speak like a CEO in meetings. And this video here will help you out with that. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit the like button below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell too so you can see all my posts and notifications when I release videos. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.